What's up, gang? So here is a fun, actually a pretty darn fun movement game for you to play for your Friday here. In the gym right now, I have two boxes set up that are gonna represent the two sides that I'm gonna move from one to the other. But I think that the more creative in the space that you can get with this game, the better. So this can be done in your house, your apartment, it can be done at the park, or maybe even through a room or two in your house. Just kind of, like I said, inventing a new pathway would be a pretty fun game with this. So I just spent 10 minutes doing this. I think 10 minutes is a nice amount of time. You may want to explore further with this. It serves as a pretty good warm-up or extended warm-up, or I think just like a goofy little movement break or something to maybe play around with your significant other or kids or whatever. Like I said, fun game. Could go on and on. What it is you're going to get set up at one side of your room, and you're going to move to the other side of the room with a set of rules. I'm going to give you two variations, both fun, just different kinds of challenges. So easier to show than to tell. So check this out. I'm going to get set up on one side of my room in just any position. The only rule is all four parts of my body have to touch the ground to start. So the goal, or the game here, is I want to move from one side of the room to the other, but I can only move forward by taking whatever the furthest point of contact back towards this original wall is, and make that the first piece of my body that moves. So in this case, my left hand is the furthest back towards this box, so it's going to be the first part of my body that I'm able to move. So I'm going to lift it, and I'm just going to place it here. Doesn't really matter. I'm trying to come up with some interesting paths here, so I'm not necessarily looking for perfect movement economy, just let's get interesting. So now it's pretty obvious. My left foot is the furthest part of my body back, so I'm going to move that next. And I'm going to step back here. Okay, so now my right foot is pretty even with my right hand, but I think it's the furthest back. So I'm going to make that the next part of my body that moves. Okay, now it's my right hand. I'm going to place that guy here. Now it's my left hand. I'm going to place that here. My left foot is going to go here. Now my right hand, maybe go here. My right foot is what's next, so I'm going to move that one here. Now it's my left hand. Move that here. Here's my right hand. Let's put that there. And now it's my left hand, so let's say here. My left foot. Let's get crazy. We're going to kick that through to here. Now it's my right foot. I'm going to move that to here. Now it's my right hand. Move that there. I think it's my left hand, so I'll put that here. Right foot, here. Left foot, there. Left hand goes here. Right hand, here. Left hand, here. Right foot, there. Left foot, it's going to go here. Left hand, barely moved it. Right hand, and I'm basically to the other side. So, ended up in some relatively goofy positions, having to organize my body and how am I going to support myself without falling over such that I can remove one of these limbs and move them forward. So that's variation number one. Whatever the furthest point of contact between my two hands and my 2 feet back is, that has to be the move, or the part of my body that moves first. The second variation, maybe arguably a little bit more challenging, is the same as the first one. The only difference is you need to take that trailing hand or foot and move it all the way to the front of the line. So whatever the furthest hand or foot back is must be the one that moves, and it has to move all the way to the front. So I'll show you what I mean. So let's start in a different position. Okay, so pretty obvious here that my left foot is the furthest one back, and now I have to find a way to bring it all the way to the front. So I'm going to kick it all the way through. Okay, so now my right foot is the furthest one back, and I need to bring that one all the way to the front. So I'm going to try and slide it through and do something kind of similar. Okay, now my left hand is the furthest one back. I'm going to bring it out in front. And now my right hand is the furthest one back. And I'm going to get real weird and bring it through here. Okay, now my left foot's the furthest one back. Step out. Right foot. Left hand. Right hand. Let's see. Left foot. Right foot. Oh, here's going to be some challenge. So I took big steps, so I got to really reach. Okay? Now my right hand. Now my left foot. So I can pivot my feet, I just can't move, or my hands, just can't move them in order to make this happen. So I'm in a pretty tough position. I'm going to try my best to pull this foot up and over. Ha! Okay, and my right foot's the furthest one back. So do this. My left hand is here. And my right hand brings me all the way across. Oh! So, you can see why it makes for a fun game, for a fun warm-up. You're going to find yourself in a lot of weird positions, some maybe more compromising than others, but the spirit of the game is, rather than finding the most efficient or the most repetitive pattern, is put yourself in some interesting situations and see if you can't find a way out of it. For every time I feel like I'm truly stuck, there's some way to kind of, fudge around and move my body in a different way, and more often than not, I've been able to figure out a solution. So remember, the second game, whatever the furthest hand or foot back is, it's going to move first, and it moves all the way to the front of the line. And whatever shapes or positions you're in, you can pivot on the hands and the feet. You just can't ideally move them out of the way in order to make this happen. But like I said, go with the spirit of the game here and spend 10, 15 minutes moving around. Enjoy.